Hello. Hope you're doing well. Chelsea here. It's been a while since I've come on live on my personal page on a day that is not Monday, which is my normal weekly live series. I am still doing my daily lives, but I've been going on a lot more within my groups and on Instagram, or on my stories as well. So this again is something that I haven't done for a while. So that's also a little bit uncomfortable, but it's something else that I'm here to talk about. And it's something that I've just been, noticing has been coming up a lot in conversations lately. And it's something that I've been noticing in myself lately. And I suspect it's something that you have likely been experiencing as well, especially if you're someone who, struggled with this from an early age or experienced suppression of your emotions from an early age. A lot of us, when we grew up, and it's very common now, even as parents, if we have little kids, to really have a big discomfort around the experience of and the expression of anger. Anger is one of the more uncomfortable emotions to feel, especially when it's been suppressed. When we think about what happens when a child has an outburst of anger and the discomfort that it has. I can remember, a time when my oldest daughter was with me in a grocery store and she had a tantrum over something, and I just abandoned the whole shopping experience and we left. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be around anger. And so it's something that we, bless you, Desi. It's something that we tend to really try to squash or suppress or push away when we see it experienced in children. And because that probably also was something that we experienced growing up as well, it's something that was probably discouraged for us to experience when we were younger, to be able to really fully express our anger. And so when it comes up, especially these days, anger is an emotion that has been coming up for a lot of us, just with everything that's been going on. It's just a really uncomfortable experience. So many of us don't have a really healthy outlet to express it. And often if it stays bottled up for a really long time, it gets to a point where we just lose our ability to suppress it and it comes out in a really uncomfortable way. But anger, just like any emotion, is a healthy emotion to experience, and there's moments in our lives when it's absolutely appropriate to experience anger. I was speaking with a client of mine earlier this week, and she said something really profound and that I really agree with, is that this is a time right now where so many people that have suppressed emotions or suppressed trauma or suppressed experiences that they've really tried to ignore, sweep under the carpet for a really long time. There's so many triggering experiences that are coming up for us right now that it's becoming harder and harder to keep those emotions buried, to keep them suppressed, to hold them back. And it's an indication, of course, that collectively we need some support with this. We need a way to do it that's healthy. We need a way to do it that's not explosive. A way to improve our ability to communicate these feelings to the people that we're closest to, a way to express these feelings in a way that is productive, not destructive. Even though there are moments when, and I almost titled this this live that, like, right now I just really want to break something, because that often can be something that can be really therapeutic when we're feeling anger. So it's just something that I think is important that we, start thinking about, start talking about, start noticing within ourselves, and just knowing that there's got to be a way, a healthy way, to start sifting through and slowly examining and releasing, and really like taking a moment within each of us to really notice, where it's been suppressed. And as I was mentioning at the beginning, so many of us weren't permitted to express our feelings of anger when we were little. And so it's also, for those of us that are parents, just starting to notice where we may be perpetuating that suppression of these really important emotions in the children that we're raising. Finding ways to validate moments when anger is absolutely appropriate, finding ways to communicate with it, to listen, to teach communication on these things, remembering that sometimes that counting to 10 and walking away is a really good tool to have instead of, when we get to that explosive moment and we just say things that we don't really mean, or our anger is directed and maybe not at the right person. It's just something to think about within you, something to explore. Are you finding that you have suppressed emotions, anger, feelings that you haven't been able to express? Is this something that's been going on for a really long time, and do you have an outlet for that? Because these emotions are very uncomfortable to feel when we don't have the avenues and the tools and the resources and the support to express them in a healthy way. So especially for those of you out there who are, you're entrepreneurs, you're working on building a business, you're really working on putting your message out there, you're working on, building a beautiful brand and getting yourself to a point where you're, maybe more visible, you're speaking out about things that you really are passionate about, that you care about, that are important to you. This is something that can really impact your business, your ability to manage your emotions and feel your emotions. It's something that can come up in, if there's a difficult conversation that needs to be had with a client, with a coworker, with a colleague, even with someone in your life. These experiences of suppressed emotion can really block the energetic flow, can block our creativity, can keep us stuck in fear and confusion until we really start to learn how to allow ourselves to feel, fully feel, how to allow ourselves to process what's coming up for us, to recognize when we're suppressing, to notice what we have suppressed for a very, very, very long time, and that, maybe it was a trauma, a specific traumatic experience, or an ongoing trauma that we experience throughout our lives, but just really acknowledging the importance of healthy emotions, emotional intelligence, healthy communication, and that it is actually healthy to be angry sometimes. Like I said, when I first titled this, I was going to call it I Really Want to Break Something. I was experiencing some anger, and even just talking about it, even though I'm not talking to you, the specifics of it don't matter. Just to be able to express it, to be able to speak truth to what's really going on, is so important, so valuable, instead of just stuffing it down, instead of trying to pretend it's not something that you're feeling, because it's genuine and it's valid. And there is a lot to be angry about right now. There's a lot on our hearts, weighing very, very heavily on us, no matter what your beliefs are. And this anger, as my beautiful and very wise client mentioned, it's almost part of this healing process that we're all going through. You know, on a certain level, there's this release that needs to happen, this collective release of so much wrongdoing that's been going on for generations, that so many of us right now are here to heal. And there's a lot to feel in that whole process. So just remember, when you're feeling these feelings, that they may feel uncomfortable, but they are valid, and looking for tools and outlets and methods and supports to express them is so important. Suppressing them is, there's so many downsides to suppressing anger. There's so many, and they can take place on physical, mental, and emotional levels. I mean, suppressed anger can actually affect our physical health over time and create a lot of anxiety and stress. It can affect our blood pressure. You know, there's so many different things. So if you're watching this and you're really connecting to what I'm saying, just a reminder to take a look at that and to know that this is a time in history that we're living through right now where these feelings of anger, I mean, we can see them everywhere. We witness them out in the world. There's a lot of us out there that are really here to soothe that as well. I mean, that's part of our mission, our purpose, is to really help to transmute a lot of the negativity and the anger that's going on in the world. But also knowing that this is also, it's an inside job. First of all, recognizing it. First of all, knowing that these emotions are going to be uncomfortable when we feel them, especially if we've never really fully been given the permission or given ourselves the permission to feel them. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but it's all good. It's better to let them out. It's better to find healthy outlets for what those are. So again, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you're finding that this is really messing with your ability to be productive, to be creative, to do your work, to share your message, to have the confidence that you need, then reach out to me and let's chat about how we can really start to look at this and help to actually turn it into fuel. Because that's the other really cool thing about anger, is it can often be really connected to what you stand for, like what you're done putting up with in your life. So it can be turned into something really powerful at the same time when you allow yourself to process it and express it in a really healthy way, to look at the trauma, to really start to look at, healing, what's going on, and turn it into something really good. So again, if you're watching this, connecting to it, feel like you could use some support in this area, send me a message, comment below. I'm sending you lots of love, big hugs. I'm grateful because I don't want to break something anymore. This conversation has been really therapeutic for me as well, to just be able to express myself. And sometimes that's really all we need, to be able to use our voice, to speak, and to also do it in a way that is productive and can turn into something really good. All right, lots of love. Wishing you a beautiful day. I'll see you again soon.